baby.
Yeah.
Hey, baby. Okay, baby. All right.
Peace.
So cool. All right.
Peace. You hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. Do you hear us?
Yeah, shalom. I hear you.
Okay, so we got K on, we got Sheik on. Before we delve off into that, I just want to kind of ask: Are you guys subscribe to the Quran
Yes.
and you guys subscribe to the Hadith?
No.
No.
Okay,
How
We're
convenient.
gonna give you. We're gonna explain our position. We adhere to the Torah as well as the Quran of Mecca.
okay.
We
So
we so our political status is Moorish American, but we consider ourselves Islamic Hebrews.
Islamic Hebrews.
Yes.
Yes.
So you're mixing two different so-called religions with each other.
Well, we don't see it that way. We see that we follow the way of life of Abraham.
Yeah.
Way of Abraham. Okay, so um, who are God's chosen people?
Well, according to the Torah, is Beni Israel was God's chosen people. They was the ones that had the promise through Isaac, through the children, through Jacob.
hmm So who does the Quran say the chosen people are?
The Quran says the chosen people are Beni Israel. So
Yeah. Same thing.
that's why
Right.
we acknowledge our Israelite ancestry.
Okay.
But we also know that Beni Israel was wicked and killed the prophets and things of that nature,
Okay.
and forsake the Most High and was worshiping idols and these different things. So we
Okay.
take the stance that Muhammad, he came to abolish the idols and bring the Beni Israel and back to what they call Tawhid, the oneness of the Creator. But
Okay.
that's not the topic though. But
Well, we're gonna have to get into that. We're
well,
talking about.
we have no problem with that. But we could get into we want to deal with because we watch your videos and we see that y'all say that Muhammad was a pale skinned Arab.
Okay, so this is what we'll do. We'll go into it right now. Let me just Hassad, did you want to say something while I'm loading this up?
No, I mean it's just convenient that it don't believe in
It
hadith.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because according to Arab who have been practicing Islam far longer than you so-called American Negroes, they trust and subscribe to the Hadith. So we're going to use the Hadith anyway.
I mean, we figured that you would. So
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but that's like if we pull out the Talmud for you or the Mishnah, which is the traditions of men. The same thing. The Hadith, it means tells. It's the same. It has the same weight as the Mishnah
No,
or
no,
the
no, no.
Talmud.
Wait. If the Talmud is giving a life experience, then that's a life experience. We don't, or a historical account, then that's fine. We don't deal with the doctrine in the Talmud. I'm not going to the Hadith to show doctrine. I'm going to the Hadith to show a historical account.
And the same thing, the Hadith, if it's not contradicting the Quran of Mecca, then it's fine. But once it starts contradicting the Quran of Mecca, then these are assertions of men. These are with the
So he
pale
gets
skin.
to pick and choose. Essentially, we just said, y'all, is he gets to pick and choose what he wants out of the hadith to fit his narrative. That's
No,
exactly what he just.
That's not what you said.
That's exactly
no.
what
What I'm saying, yo, Ak, what I'm saying is that the pale skin Arabs, the Persians, and Turks, they hijacked Islam like the so-called Ashkenazi Jews hijacked the Hebrew Israelite culture. The
Exactly.
Europeans, the pale skin people done this all around the world. They took the so-called
When
Egyptians,
did the Arabs do that?
Wait, hold on, man. Let Hassad.
Okay,
Both
babe.
of
When
you
you
guys.
made
Hassad.
yeah, my bad. I thought you was telling him to hold on.
We gotta make sure we're letting each other talk and we're not cutting each other off.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Hassad, you're asserting that he's picking and choosing that. Hassad, explain what you were trying to say and then let him respond to that and then we'll proceed.
Essentially, what he just said is whenever the hadith doesn't contradict the Quran, then it's fine. Essentially, what that means is Anytime he gets to go into the hadith and find something that he likes, that he can attempt to correlate with what the Quran says, he'll choose that, but not the other stuff. Why? Because it doesn't fit his narrative. That's exactly what he said.
Can I respond?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, again, the pale-skinned Turks and Arabs, they inserted racism into hadiths because they want to hijack the true descendants of Kedar, which was the so-called Black Arab, and want to, take that position. The same way the Ashkenazi European Jews want to take the birthright of Beni Israel, the same way these so-called Europeans want to claim to be the Egyptians. They did the same thing with the descendants of Kedar.
You're putting yourself in a tough situation here, because we have the documents of when the Ashkenazis came in and started assuming our identity.
Yeah, the 6th century. King Bolan.
I'm going to ask you this: What year did was the Quran composed, or did Muhammad go on his conquest of Mecca?
Say it again.
What year was the Quran composed, and when Muhammad did his conquest of Mecca?
Muhammad received the revelation in 610 AD.
Okay, so
but let me explain our position. We're not religiously dogmatic, so we deal with more facts, and we know that Muhammad, he was influenced by people in Arabia called the Nazarenes, and his father Abdul Muttalib was taught by the Nazarenes. So this is where he got his education in the Torah.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, bro.
Let me finish one thing. And when he came in contact with a Nazarene by the name of Waqir.
Is that in the Quran?
No, the Quran, when you take it on the literal level, it says that an angel came to him. But when you go into the more inner understanding, we know that that Muhammad was influenced by a people in Arabia called the Nazarenes, who were from Beni Israel.
But it's not in the Quran. We can't find that in the Quran.
Yeah, but when you read Babylon and Timbuktu, which one of the books I like to read all the time, I said that Muhammad was influenced by.
I don't really use that book. But so Muhammad was an Arab, right?
Yeah, yes. Muhammad was original Arab.
He was an Arab. That means he came from Ishmael, right?
Yes, and Ishmael was the son of Hagar, who was an Egyptian.
Okay. So do you know that God says that Ishmael is
not a child?
Yeah. Do you know that the Bible says Ishmael is not the children of God, is not a child of God, and is God's enemy?
See, but that's not what we're dealing with right now. We're gonna deal with the genealogy of Muhammad. If Muhammad is a so-called dark skin, what we call Black Arab, or he's a pale Arab.
Brother,
let's deal with that, and then we could get into theology of
Okay, that's fine. That's fine, because I got a whole shitload of doctrinal, theological body blows for Islam in the Quran. But right now, we'll deal decently in order. We'll go with the color of Muhammad according to the most trusted Arabic chronicles and some of the oldest Arabic chronicles. Now, before I go into these sources, I'm going to ask you, when did you said the pale Arabs infiltrated Islam and added racism in there?
Yes.
Okay, what year was that?
Well, one of the first contacts of racist Persian Arabs was an Arab by the name of Abu Bakr, who, according to some scholars, was a red Arab, and he was one of the first ones to implement racism in the time of Muhammad's time. He wasn't. Let me just finish. He wasn't descendant of what they call the Ahlul Bayt. The Ahlul Bayt was the family Muhammad, which comes through Fatima and Ali, which was the pure Arab from Kedar, the dark-skinned Arab.
Okay.
And when Abu Bakr came into position, he wanted to overthrow the Ahlul Bayt, the son of Ali, the dark Arab, and that's when you have what they call the Sunnis.
Okay, brother. We got this is the We Want Smoke. This isn't a formal debate. So when I ask you a question, I need you to be precise and concise because we got a lot of people who want to get on too. Although I'm going to give you guys a little longer of a time allotment because we talked about this a couple of days ago. So when I ask you a question, try to be precise and concise, please and thanks. Do you have a year or a circa where the pale Arabs infiltrated Islam and then started pushing the racist narrative?
Yeah, this is around 640 AD when Muhammad had transcended.
Okay. That if you're correct, then that would make sense. Do you have a source on that though, so I can fact check you?
Yeah, the source I'm talking about is when you read about Abu Bakr. And and the division between what they call the Ahlul Bayt, which is the family of Ali, and Abu Bakr. It was a split between the two.
Okay, Hassad, fact check that for me. So he's saying that the pale Arabs came and started pushing a racist narrative during about 640-ish, you'll say?
Yeah, when Muhammad transcended, and it was a split, and that's when the Persian Arab wanted to hijack Islam from the dark Arab.
Okay. So, okay, cool. So
and what year you say this was?
He said 640.
640. He died in Abu Bakr died in 634 AD.
So Abu Bakr died in 634 AD, but you're saying he infiltrated and started pushing the narrative in 640 AD.
Yeah, Abu Bakr. Yeah, what you gonna say, man?
I was just saying he was giving you an approximation. Like it's like you saying circa Christ was born in 1 AD. Like he's not literally born in 1 AD. He could have been born in 2 BC. He could have been born in 5 AD. You don't have a precise date, but it's the premise or the point that he's making is that soon after or soon around the time of the purported death of Muhammad, that's when these type of events started to occur.
So Abu Bakr, you said infiltrated it and spread racism. Is that what you're saying?
You asked for example. You asked for examples. You asked for like let's give you an example.
You said Abu Bakr, for example. You cited him as a person. He infiltrated. He was one of the first to infiltrate and put racism in Islam during the time of the Prophet Muhammad. What you said, right?
What I'm saying is that Abu Bakr was what they would consider a red Arab, and he was the one that went against the Ahlul Bayt, which was the descendant of Muhammad. And that's you got the Sunni Muslims. They was the ones who was Ahlul Bayt, the dark-skinned Arab, which comes from Ali and Fatima.
Yeah,
so
I understand what you're saying, but Hassad doesn't understand. What he's saying is that I asked him because we're going to go to the sources that say, Muhammad had black slaves and Muhammad was white, and he's saying that these are fabricated narratives. From Abu Bakr. So we're trying to figure out if his claim is correct or not. He said they infiltrated and started doing it around 640. Where does it say that he started pushing this racist? Where does it say that he's a liar? You got any sources that say, oh, he lied on Muhammad?
I thought Abu Bakr was a friend of Muhammad.
Yes, he was one of his friends, but when Muhammad transcended, he started pushing his own narrative of Islam and pushing a more pale-skinned Arab and trying to push the dark-skinned Arab in the back. And you can see this by when they start painting pictures of Muhammad. They don't show pictures of Muhammad's face. They show his hands as being pale, giving the idea in the minds of the people that this is a pale-skinned Arab, which he wasn't a pale-skinned Arab. You start seeing the early depictions during the time the Persians that began to come into Islam. They started, painting pictures of angelic beings as being pale, and the same thing they did with, the prophets in the Bible.
Okay, so K-Bay, what color was Aisha?
Aisha?
Yeah.
She was She was a red. She was a red Arab.
She was a red arrow. So one of Muhammad's wives was a red arrow.
Yes.
Just making sure. Okay, interesting. And you have any sources to confirm that?
Yeah, because she was the daughter of Abu Bakr.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? Let's fast forward. Let's put our foot on the gas here. Did the Arabs, you know, the Arabs, the sub-Saharan African slave trade, were the Arabs responsible for that?
Let me just say something. Are we agreeing that Muhammad was a dark-skinned Arab and not a pale Arab descendant of Kedar, which means dark through Ishmael and Hagar, who was both what we call so-called black people today?
No, because you haven't pulled one source to show that.
All right, so let me pull a source then. So let me interject first. So you could look at the Arabic dictionary written by one of Arabic dictionaries. I believe it's called Lisan al-Arab.
Yeah, Hassad, get the date on that because we're gonna go back further than that.
Well, okay, so we go Arabic dictionary by Ibn Mansur, right? And he says the Arabs. Say that again.
When did this individual live?
Hold on, I'm gonna get you the exact date right now.
And we also got El Jazaz, who lived in the 8th century.
How do you feel about Sahih Bukhari?
Nah, Bukhari, that's written by Persians.
Okay. So Ibn Mansur, he wrote a book called an Arabic dictionary called the Lisan al-Arab. It's called the Arab tongue, and it was completed in 1290. So circa 1290. That good?
And okay, so go ahead.
Okay. So let me get so in this he has an entry where he says the Arabs don't say a man is white or white man, Rajul Abya, due to a white complexion. Rather, whiteness, al-Abyad, with them means an eternal appearance that is free from blemish. Al-Zahir, al-Naqi, min al-Yuyub. When they mean a white complexion, they say red, ahmar, or ahmar. When the Arabs say so-and-so is white, abyad badja, they only mean a noble character. Al-Karim, fil, I'm sorry, my Arabic's really bad. I don't pronounce well. Akhlaq, not skin color. It is when they say so-and-so is red. Hamra, they mean white skin. And the Arabs attribute white skin to the slaves. And when you look up the etymology of the word slave, it's traced to the word Slav, which is the Eastern European people, because pale-skinned people were enslaved in large numbers.
Okay, so
in the ancient world.
Hey, hold on. Are you guys Sunni Muslims?
No, we're not. He already said that we Moorish American Muslims, Hebrew Muslims.
Okay, Moorish American. Okay, so
but hold on, because I read all that for a point, though. So let me just complete that thought. So when you using the connotative term white instead of in the ancient context of how they meant it in Arabic, you're using white in a contemporary context, meaning pale skin. But in the ancient context, or even in this period of 1290, the word white in the Arabic language and the way that we're using it in English don't coincide. It really means red skin or reddish.
I'm not interrupting you, but so when I hear an Arab talking about someone being white, what does that mean?
Again, if you're using 2020 definitions,
no, I'm not.
Wait, hold on.
Why you laughing? Nah, I'm saying it's funny.
I'm telling you right now that I'm not.
Nah, so, I'm gonna.
Hold on.
Let me answer the question.
You read that source, brother, but I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. So you're saying when the Arabs during the time of Muhammad, when they wanted to refer to someone with a white complexion as having white complexion, they wouldn't say white, they would say red. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes. But listen, but hold on, wait, don't jump.
Hold on, brother. I'm gonna let you go, I promise. Anas bin Malik was a companion of Muhammad? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so he lived during the time of Muhammad. Yes or no?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So volume 1, book 3, number 63, narrated Anas bin Malik. This is what he says, a companion of Muhammad. It says, while this is him speaking, Anas bin Malik. Let's see if he called him red, or we'll see what he called him. This is Anas bin Malik speaking. While we were sitting with the Prophet in the mosque, a man came riding on a camel. He made his camel kneel down in the mosque, tied its foreleg, and then said, "Who amongst you is Muhammad?" He said, "Which one of y'all is Muhammad?" At that time, the Prophet was sitting amongst us, his companions, leaning on his arm. We replied, "This white man reclining on his arm." What does that mean? What does that mean when a man came up to them and said, "Hey, which one of y'all is Muhammad?" And they said, "This white man reclining on his arm."
Okay, so again, if you had allowed me to finish, I would have explained to you that when you're using the English word white, there's two different terms being used in the Arabic. One meaning somebody without blemish. So it could be a dark-skinned person who you ever seen certain kinds of dark-skinned people, they have no blemish on their skin.
Wow.
You saying wow, but this is a
Wait,
lexicon. This is an Arabic lexicon.
Brother, hold on, real quick. So I'm just going to make sure I'm walking with you. When the most, let me show, because really it's not about me or you, it's about our people. I want the people to hear this and see this. So we're reading Sahih al-Bukhari here, which is one of the most trusted sources for Sunni Muslims. And it says they're looking for Muhammad, and then everybody says it's this white man reclining over there. I'm gonna try to find out. Hold on, because I gotta understand this, and I want everybody else to say this. When they're saying this white man, they're really saying this pure black man.
Again, I'm just saying that it's different contexts, but yes, but it's not just that. Again, I'm gonna read it again, where it says when the Arabs, so you're talking about when the Arab is singing in the Arabic language. This is Al-Mansur.
Shalom, brothers. I'm not with the fuckery today. A black man just got killed by a cop. Minneapolis is rioting, and you're telling me the oldest trusted Muslim sources is calling Muhammad a white man, and you're saying it really means a pure black man. Get the fuck out of here.